I mean, it was that Reggie Miller-like, if anybody remembers all those points he threw in that huge game. Face of the league, not surprised, after Caitlin Clark put up what was one of the most insane stat lines you'll ever see. 32, 8, 9, and 2, the 2 for block shots.
That have come to the defense of numerous WNBA players because they were pointing out, like, this has been going on before long and people are not hating on her. It's not about hating on her.
The New York Liberty were undefeated until Caitlin Clark walked back onto the court. But this wasn't just any win. Clark and the Indiana Fever broke 8 records in a single game. How does a team go from underdog to record-shattering dominator in one night? The story of this game will blow your mind, and what happened in just 38 seconds was something the WNBA has never seen before.
Going to be very interested to see how did the ratings shape up for that big Caitlin Clark return against the New York Liberty. In the history of everything on ABC for WNBA, this was the 3rd biggest rating ever. I'm sure the other 2 are also Caitlin Clark.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now back to the video. The New York Liberty started this season playing at a level that felt downright unfair. 9 straight wins. 9. They dominated on both ends of the floor with an offense that flowed like clockwork and a defense that punished any mistakes. It didn't matter who their opponent was. Teams were leaving games with bruised egos and blown leads. Sabrina Ionescu was dishing assists like a magician, and Breanna Stewart? She played like she was chasing another MVP. There wasn't a weak link in their lineup. People were already whispering about an undefeated season. Who could stop them? Now, let's flip to the Indiana Fever. Yikes. It's been a rough stretch for this team. They couldn't hang on to leads, they weren't converting big possessions either. And Caitlin Clark? She wasn't even playing. She had been sidelined, and without her, the team felt incomplete, like the gears weren't clicking. Frustration was building. A few weeks ago, no one saw them as contenders. But then came Caitlin Clark's return. And oh man, when she walked onto the court, you could feel a shift.
The undefeated New York Liberty that aren't so undefeated anymore, I'd say. The 9.38-second barrage that Colin Cowherd is now labeled as historic.
The crowd's energy changed. Her teammates played more confidently. She had that effect. What happened next almost didn't feel real. Imagine this. The Liberty were up by 11 points. Looking calm, collected, business as usual, Clark gets possession. The first shot she takes? A pull-up jumper from over 30 feet. Network. No hesitation. She immediately grabs the ball, moves down the court again, same spot, another wild three-pointer. Just when you think, no way she does it again, she drills a third from even deeper. This wasn't just basketball, it was performance art. And all of this wasn't some slow burn, it happened in, get this, 38 seconds. The energy in the arena flipped faster than anyone could process. The Liberty, who had looked like a juggernaut seconds ago, suddenly had no answers. Their ball movement fell apart. How do you stop someone who's hitting shots from distances you wouldn't even consider defensible? That sequence wasn't just the start of a comeback. It robbed the Liberty of their confidence. From that moment on, it was the Fever's game.
After Caitlin Clark put up what was one of the most insane stat lines you'll ever see, 32, 8, 9, and 2, the 2 for block shots, 2.2 million average viewers, and it peaked at 2.8 million.
Caitlin Clark showed up and rewrote basketball history like it was just another Friday night. Her first half alone was a statement. 25 points, her personal best for a single half, and she made it look easy. Pull-up threes, contested jumpers, fast break layups, she did it all. And the Liberty had no answers. What's even crazier? She wasn't finished. That explosive start set the tone for one of the most jaw-dropping performances the WNBA has ever seen. Now, let's talk about those 8 records. First off, her final stat line: 30 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and 7 three-pointers. Yeah, 7. No player in WNBA history has ever hit that mix of numbers in a single game. Not Sue Bird, not Diana Taurasi, not Maya Moore, nobody. Clark wasn't just scoring in volume, she was unstoppable from behind the arc. The Liberty's defense scrambled, called timeouts, switched matchups. It didn't matter. She was hitting shots from a range that made defenders look lost. But that's not all. Clark became the 4th fastest player to reach 850 career points, doing it in just 45 games. Think about that. She's already keeping pace with the most elite scorers in league history, and she's only in her 2nd season. As if that wasn't enough, she also passed Candace Parker's record for the most games with 30-plus points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in a player's first 2 seasons.
At this point, it seems like if she has a game on ESPN, CBS, ABC, you get the point, an actual bigger network. Caitlin Clark can block some shots on people. She can block some shots.
We're talking about one of the all-time greats in Parker, and Clark's already pushing her name further up the books. Here's another stat that still feels impossible. Clark moved into 2nd place for the most games where a player scored or assisted on 50 or more points. She's done it in 9 out of 45 career games. The trajectory? She's on pace to pass Diana Taurasi's career record before the season's even done. This wasn't just a big night for Clark, it was a message to the entire league. And while her individual brilliance lit the way, what followed proved this Fever team is no one-trick pony. Caitlin Clark's return wasn't just about reclaiming the court, it was about redefining the league. Her 9 points in 38 seconds stunned the Liberty, but her performance went beyond stats. It shifted how the Fever are seen.
I mean, it was that Reggie Miller-like, if anybody remembers all those points he threw in that huge game. Face of the league, not surprised.
That have come to the defense of numerous WNBA players because they were pointing out, like, this has been going on before long and people are not hating on her. It's not about hating on her.
A team that started 5-5 this season suddenly looks like a contender, sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference standings for the Commissioner's Cup. This win wasn't just an upset. It was a declaration that the Fever, led by Clark, are here to challenge the WNBA's elite. Imagine what the rest of 2025 has in store if this is just the beginning.